All right, good morning. We are on day 18, and I hope things are going well for you. I believe that your breakthrough is on the way. Don't give up. Real quickly, I want to talk about listening to God again. It's something that we need to kind of revisit. I was watching a television program where the host was basically kind of speaking negatively about someone in the government, and this person in the government said, I pray about things and I wait to hear from God before I do them, or I want to hear from God. And this host of this show was like, I think they're a little bit crazy. That really concerns me that this guy thinks he's hearing from God. And it always catches my attention when someone thinks it's a weird or strange thing that people would go, I really want to hear what God has to say about this. And you know what I find in churches a lot, that people go, I think preachers ought to hear from God, and maybe super spiritual people like prayer warriors and so on and so forth. But you know what? God speaks to all of his children. He is not singling people out and saying, I speak to these preachers now, but if you're not a preacher or someone important or some leader or something, then you're not going to hear from me. No. God talks to everybody. Now think about this for a second. If I called my wife and said, "Hey, Tammy," and then I would just dumped my day on her and told her how frustrated I was, and then hung up the phone, and I did that every time we talked, it would be kind of a real awkward time when we saw each other. And so that's what happens in a lot of people's lives. They dump on God, they fuss at him, they do all that, and then when they get to church, it's kind of like, this is kind of awkward. Of course it is, because you've just dumped on God all week, and now you're in there worshiping him. We don't need to live life that way. That's not the way it's supposed to work. When we ask God for something, we need to stop and listen. When we seek him, we need to take some time. That's what we're doing with the extra time that we're not doing something that we want, whether it's fasting, something. I'll encourage you to, if you're missing a meal or something like that, pray during that meal. If you're fasting something, take time to listen. Please take time to listen, because God wants to tell you what's going on in your life, and he wants to show you what your life is going to be like. And he wants, for when this breakthrough happened, not for you to just stop and go, okay, got my breakthrough, guess I don't need to go do all that fasting and praying and listening anymore. No, he's hoping that this whole time starts a new way of you relating to God, and that you spend a little bit of time with him every day, speaking to him and listening.